How's it going? This is Shane Thomas, ready to show you another country classic on acoustic guitar. This time, this video, we are going to learn If I Had You by Alabama. Number one hit in 1989 for the supergroup Alabama off their Southern Star album. And man, one of many number one hits for Alabama. It was co-written by Danny Mayo and Kerry Chatter. Kerry Chatter co-wrote You Look So Good in Love for George Strait and I Owe You by Lee Greenwood, Song of the Year for Lee Greenwood. I'm pretty sure it was Song of the Year in 1984, early 80s. Man, I need to do some guitar tutorials about those two. Love those two songs. And Danny Mayo co-wrote Keeper of the Stars, another Song of the Year, around 1995 for Tracy Byrd. But he also wrote songs for Confederate Railroad, Feed Jake by Pirates of the Caribbean, or Pirates of the Mississippi, excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, Pirates of the Mississippi. So, phenomenal songwriters. And when you have phenomenal songwriters each having a hand in writing songs of the year, you know you're going to get a hit. So this was a hit in 1989. Fairly simple song to play. Not too many chords, a nice slow pace. More than strumming, this song requires you to pick each string. So it gives you a good chance to practice that. Let's get going. It's in the key of D. The D chord is second fret on the first string. Put your middle finger there. Put your first finger on the second fret, third string. And then put your ring finger on the second string, third fret. Strum down with the fourth string on down. Now, the way they play it in the song is not your traditional just D chord. And here's what I mean. If we can get this intro kind of section, knowing how to play the intro, then you're going to have a good chunk of the song. You'll have the vibe, you'll have the picking pattern, you'll have how to play this little variation of the D major chord. What you could do, what I like to do is just pick down. That right there is my middle finger on the second fret of the first string. Then I take my middle finger off and play it open. Just play that high E string, first string open. So it sounds like this. All right. Now instead of, I'm just taking my whole entire hand off for demonstration purposes only, but when I play it, I'm playing the D major shape, then I take my middle finger off and then go back up second string, third string. Now other people, and you can do this, is not even press down on with the middle finger at all. So you would just have your first finger on the third string, second fret, and your ring finger on the second string, third fret. And you would play that. I like to add that. So however way you want to do it, it's either way. If you just want to play two fingers and always play that first string open, you can. Or if you play the E or E string, second fret, right there on that F sharp note, then pull it off, it's up to you. As long as you get that right speed, that's your intro. And this is the same kind of pattern that you're going to be playing for a lot of the bulk of the verses. Speaking of verses, let's start. Verse 1. If I had you, still on the D to G. Here is the G chord, very easy chord. Put a finger on the sixth string, third fret. Put a finger on the fifth string, second fret. Play the second, third, and fourth strings open. And press down on the first string, third fret. That's your G major chord. Check out those chord diagrams if you need to. So far we got. If I had If I had you, to G. We run like gypsies in the wind, to G. We be lovers, back to D. We be friends. A chord, very easy chord. Second, third, and fourth string are pressed down on the second fret. So everything takes place on this second fret. Just press down second, third, and fourth string on the second fret. Play the fifth string open and the first string open. So we got D. If I had you, to G. We run like gypsies, back to D. In the wind, G. We be lovers, D. We be friends, A. If I had you, back to D. All right, keep that up. Keep that same chord sequence up. We're getting ready to do verse 2. If I had you, to G. Count the stars all one by one. We make love, G, till they were gone. A. Oh, if I had you. And that's your first two verses. And the same chords are going to be used in the third verse, which we'll be getting to. But I do want to show you that other section. And that other section, you could call it a bridge or something other than the verse. And I'll show it to you right now. All right, now that we learned the intro and the first couple of verses, it's time to learn the bridge section or the You Light a Fire section of the song. Let's recap real quick though. I do want to stress that it's more of a picking pattern than the strumming pattern when you're playing the verses. Just down and then go up. Down, back up the strings. All right. Now, when we get to this bridge part, the You Light a Fire part, we do kind of start strumming a little bit. The chords are pretty much the same, but we're going to add a new chord, and that's the E minor. Not the E, the E minors. I've seen some people play with an E. I like just the first two strings, the E minor. So the E minor is on the second fret. Play the fourth and fifth strings on the second fret. Everything else is open. Check out the chord diagrams. So let me show you where it's at in the song. So if I had you, this is how we're leading up to the You Light a Fire section. And I would like to mention that when you end the verse, if I had that part, you can take off your one finger and play that third string open, make an A7. I think it sounds pretty nice and adds to the song. Then you go back to D. And just like the intro, however you play that intro part with that D chord, that's the last chord before you get to You Light a Fire way down in my soul. That part. Now see how I started strumming a little bit? It's up to you. You have the creative license to whether or not you want to go to strumming, or if you just want You Light a Fire, or if you want to keep that picking pattern up. All right, that's totally up to you. For simplicity's sake and to vary it up a little bit, I'll strum it a little bit. U, G, light a fire, D, downstrokes, not D, downstrokes on the strumming pattern. That's an A, so G, U, light a fire, A, D, way down in my soul. That's the hardest part of the song, y'all. Right there, you're going from D to E minor, which we just learned. Now I go back to D, but this time I'm going to add the thumb on this 6th string 2nd fret, and that puts an F sharp in the bass. You see Gar Brooks do this a lot. I've done several guitar tutorials with Gar Brooks song. That's all present in many of the songs. So let's recap. D, E minor, D again, this time with the F sharp in the bass, G. So when we're singing the song, or where you make that in the song, let's start from the beginning of this section. U, G to A. Here we go. D, E minor, back to D with the F sharp in the bass, so G. Flames keep growing stronger, G to A. Do it again. There ain't no control, and there's nothing, G. No, there's nothing, A. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do. If I had you. Let's do that again. I'm gonna take my time with that. I know there's nothing that I, just like that same progression, wouldn't do. But this time, G, D with the F sharp in the bass, to E minor, back to D, then A. So I think it'll sound better, or it makes more sense when I do it in real time. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do. G, back down. D to A. If I had you. And then you go back to just like you did in the intro and for the verses. And we got one more verse to do. If I had you, D to G. Sail the 7 seas as one. G, we never say can be done. A, or you could play A7. Oh, if I had you. Play the bridge section again. Let's do it again. 'Cause you, G, light a fire. A, D, E minor, D with the F sharp in the bass, G. Flames keep growing stronger, G to A. Do it again. D, there ain't no control. Walk it down. G to D with the F sharp in the bass, to E minor. D to A. If I had you. Stay on the D there. Do what you've been doing with that D chord. If I had you. Is what Randy says at the very end. You just end it however way you want. And that's how you play If I Had You. Very simple song. Primarily it's the D, G, and A chord, except that little section, the You Light a Fire section, where you do that fancy little, that walking up, and then eventually you walk it down. That's about as difficult as it gets for this song. I think a couple things you want to focus on. Well, one was that little chord progression, the D to the E minor to the D with the F sharp in the bass, G, then down to A eventually. And the strumming, or not the strumming, excuse me, the picking. And getting that, what you do with that D. Again, you can keep your middle finger off it. If I had you. Play it like that. but my personal preference is to play the D chord, but then eventually take the middle finger off. Like that. However you want to do it. Long as it sounds good to you, long as it feels good to you, long as people know what you're playing and singing along to, I think you'll get a lot of enjoyment out of this song. So thank you to Alabama for recording it. Thank you for the wonderful songwriters Kerry and Danny Mayo for writing this song. Because you sure made an impression on me way back when I was a little guy, when I first heard it on the Toyota Corolla radio, riding through the country where I used to live, country roads where I used to live at. And it stuck with me all this time. I've been playing it, gosh, 20 plus years. Just a beautiful song, simple but beautiful, like most country songs are. All right, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you hadn't already, I appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can get all the latest guitar tutorials as soon as I publish them. And you'll get more pretty songs like this, I guarantee it, if you subscribe. And if you have any requests, go ahead and leave them in the comments section below. All right, y'all, keep strumming and humming. I'm Shane Thomas. Take care.